More signing day news for you here as Alabama has landed the signature from Miles McVay, committed back in August of this year, was choosing between Oregon, Alabama, Texas A&M, Michigan State there with the push as well. But the offensive lineman has now signed his letter of intent with Alabama. Andrew Bone here to break it down for you. Bone, your thoughts as big guy here at 6'6", 373, and a big-time commitment now signing for McVay.
Yeah, and I actually think he might be a little bit bigger than 6'6". I think he's maybe a little bit closer to 6'7". I mean, this is a big dude. He played in a run heavy offense, so he's a power blocker, great run blocking prospect. But one thing that I really like about Miles is his tenacity. I mean, he's one of those guys that gets after it, very physical. He's also a guy that has continued to develop. I mean, he's 6'7". On his profile page, it says 300 and I think that says 360 something pounds. He's lost a lot of weight. He's lost about 25 pounds, and he's already enrolled at Alabama. Is already starting in bowl practices. So he's going to, you look back at Jaheim Otis last year, arriving early at Alabama. He was, I mean, I don't know what he was officially at, but he was close to about 400 pounds, and we saw the development and the transformation in his body over the course of about 6 months. And I imagine that that Miles is going to be on a very similar workout plan and very similar diet, and he's going to get right with the nutritionist, and they're going to get him under control. And I don't think he's out of control by any means. This is a guy who is focused. He is working very hard, and definitely somebody who it could have gone either way for him at the beginning of the season or at the beginning of the spring. He could have gotten up to 380, 390 pounds, but he kept training, kept working, and continued to lose that weight. So he's already on the right track, and he's already at Alabama, and so he's going to get pretty right down there. But this is definitely somebody that I felt like Alabama was excited about for a long time. He camped in Tuscaloosa as a junior, and really ever since then, they didn't even have Alabama offensive line coach Eric Wolford there yet. They still had Doug Marrone as Alabama's O-line coach last year when Miles McVay first made that trip to Tuscaloosa. And Alabama's been pushing hard for him really ever since then. Just a power guy, strong, plays until the end of the whistle, and certainly somebody that adds a lot of size to this recruiting class. I mean, I think that's kind of the narrative with this offensive line class at Alabama is just how big they are. Just some big, absolute maulers that are coming in, and all of these guys are enrolling are already enrolled, or they're going to be enrolling in January. So getting these guys on campus early, especially with some losses at the offensive line position, whether guys are leaving or entering the transfer portal, this offensive line class really gives a big boost to Alabama's O-line unit here in the future.
Yeah, I mean, just another massive offensive line prospect here that Alabama is able to land. What did he like about Alabama so much? Like you said, Eric Wolford not into town on his first visit there. What was it about Alabama that really caught McVay's attention?
Coach Wolford may not have been there, but Coach Wolford, once he got there, had already had a relationship because he was recruiting McVay when he was at Kentucky. So that's something that made him feel really comfortable. But another thing that he really liked was the ability to go up against great competition every single day at practice. We heard this last year from Tyler Booker, Alabama freshman offensive lineman. He always talked about iron sharpening iron. That's what Miles McVay liked a lot about Alabama, because he sees the type of defensive linemen that are recruited by Alabama, the guys that he's going to be going up against in practice every single day. Obviously, the success at the offensive line position throughout the course of the last several years, that also spoke volumes to him. But he also really had a great relationship with Nick Saban. Always felt warmed and welcome when he was around Coach Saban during all the visits. Spent a lot of time in Tuscaloosa throughout the last year and a half. Every time he made a trip down to Alabama, he would spend 3 or 4 days in Tuscaloosa just around the program, getting comfortable with everybody. But I think that the comfort level was very high with him. There's some other schools who were in it, but it was always kind of Alabama and then everybody else for McVay, and he followed through with that commitment in I guess it was early August.
Yeah, back in August, made that commitment now. Signs his letter of intent today. So much young offensive line talent here at Alabama. McVay just adding to that list. And for more on this, guys, and all things Alabama football, be sure to check us out at BamaInsider.com. Don't forget, hit the like button on this video. Help us get up to 500 likes and subscribe to our channel. If you have not done so, if you haven't figured it out yet today, it is a big day, and we have all the coverage on it there at our YouTube page. So be sure to subscribe. Get in the comment section too, guys. Let me know what you think about Miles McVay, some of this offensive line talent that is entering Tuscaloosa. For Andrew Bone, my name is Trey Yanity, as Miles McVay has signed with Alabama.